Does anybody know what's going to happen in the 2024 real estate market in Morristown, Tennessee? You're getting ready to find out. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Elite Realty Group Podcast. Mike and Dave Elkins here with you from Elite Realty Group in Morristown, Tennessee, to bring to you the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information you're going to find anywhere on the planet. You're going to get it right here. What's up, my man?
Not much. How you doing today?
Well, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm ready to give these people of Morristown, Tennessee, and the world, I'm ready to give them the information.
That's right.
We get asked all the time, what's going on in the real estate market? What's going to happen? What's going to go down? What can I expect? What's going to happen with rates? What's going to happen with prices? We got some good info today.
We do. We got some good stuff. We got some real live stats.
No doubt about it. We got some good stuff. So we're going to share that again with each and every one of you, let you know at least our predictions, what's going to happen in the real estate market in 2024. But I think you will agree with me. Before we can go 2024, we got to look back at 2023 for a minute.
Absolutely.
Because talking about 2023 and everything that happened in the real estate market and I think you will agree with me that the 2023 real estate market may have not gotten a fair handshake.
I don't think it got the credit that it deserves. I think we're going to look here and see that it was a little bit better than a lot of people was anticipating and a lot of people had heard that it was.
Sure. Would you say it was a little bit better or a whole lot different than people really thought that it was?
I'm going to say both.
I agree with you. I think that there's both. I think you can put both those in the same space and talk about those. So when we talk about, let's talk about a couple things for a minute about a bad handshake.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is maybe some of the reasons that 2023 real estate market, as far as the perception and what people thought was going on, what are some reasons you think that 2023 got that handshake that it did?
Got the bad handshake? About? Well, man, obviously the world knows that rates went up 2023.
No doubt.
And I think that a lot of people knew, everybody knew that the rates went up, and they're thinking that it affected home values.
I agree.
I think a lot of people, again, just from what we hear, is that everybody has been sitting, waiting for this crash.
Sure.
Because values are just plummeting. Values are going down so fast.
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
I did a video just the other day. I did a video that talked about the Morristown, Tennessee real estate market is just about to crash.
Yeah.
And then I put really, because we heard that all the time. We had people just literally constantly looking and sitting and saying, well, this thing's about to crash. Like, what's happening? What's going on? Tell me this, tell me that. I think there were a lot of things in our particular area that, first of all, let me back up. The whole entire real estate market as a whole in the United States,
mm-hmm.
I don't think we was even teetering on a crash.
No. There's hope.
Well, no doubt.
There's hope for people that there's going to be a crash. There's a lot of people really licking their chops.
They're wanting that to happen.
On the crash. And I think that a lot of people think that they can speak it into existence.
I agree 100%. And so the video I did, though, spoke specifically about Morristown.
Yeah.
And I think there's several factors as a reason why we didn't even sniff that. Were there some changes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about those in a minute.
Right.
But we didn't even sniff anything like that. And I think the area we live in, and that's another video, go watch that video.
Yeah.
You'll, again, the title's The Morristown Real Estate Market is Crashing.
Yeah.
Not really. But economics, jobs, just where we're located in the country,
mm-hmm.
our proximity to major cities. There was a lot of things that put into as the reason why we didn't even.
Right.
That never crossed our mind.
And I'm sure that different areas of the world are feeling and experiencing different things.
I agree. I mean, there's no doubt that is the case. So let's look back. Let's talk specifically about some things in Morristown 2023 that I think is going to tell us the story about 2024. So let's look into it. So we got some MLS things pulled up here.
Yeah, some real stats.
Yeah, we got the real goods coming in here. So let's talk first about the comparison, because I think this played into some things.
Mm-hmm.
Talk first to us about some comparisons about what happened with listings, and specifically talking about what happened to listing prices in Morristown, Tennessee in 2023.
Okay, so 2023, we're going to compare that to 2022.
Well,
okay?
sure. Yeah.
So 2022 in Morristown, Tennessee, the average list price was $396,429. That was the average list price 2022, which was what kind of market?
Well, 2022 market was incredible. I mean,
market.
It was one of those things that's like, let's go.
Great. It was a great market.
Let's go.
It was a great market.
No doubt about it.
2023, what was the average list price, Morristown, Tennessee? $551,784. That was the average list price.
I got
$551,784.
I got you.
So that's a big jump up.
So, but let me stop you here just a minute. That price was just for December. That was the list price in December.
Oh, December. Okay, yeah.
Look over at the 2023 for the whole year to date.
Okay, here we go.
Tell us that story.
Here we go. So year to date,
But I got to stop for a minute.
Okay.
Hear that? In December,
right?
The average list price, $551,000 for our area.
Yeah.
There's going to be a talk about that coming up in a minute.
Yeah. So year to date, let me give you year to date stats. Year to date, 2022, the average list price $344,351.
I got you.
Okay, versus 2023, $404,714.
I got you. Which, if you'll look, is a 17.5% increase.
17.5%
over the 2022 numbers.
Yeah.
Now, there's a story there.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
mm-hmm.
I think that we're going to talk in a minute about that's not what they sold for.
That's a key point.
Okay.
It's a very key point.
I think a lot of people in 2023 that gave us some of this false sense
mm-hmm.
that, oh Lord, something's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were still pricing their homes in 2022.
2022, 2021,
they were going back to the Wild Wild West real estate market.
Well, it was growing so fast.
I agree.
And again, that's a conversation for a whole different day. Maybe it did grow too fast.
Right.
But the fact is it growed. But not that housing prices dropped.
Right.
But that the rate they was climbing slowed down.
It slowed down.
That slowed down.
There's no doubt.
So you're going to see, like you said here in a minute, people are still trying to list too high.
Right.
Trying to list too high.
And the proof is in the pudding as about what we're about to talk about, because
yes.
we're going to talk to you about, we just talked about what the average list price was.
So list price $404,714.
Right. And so when you compare that to the average sales price,
mm-hmm.
okay, so we're looking at an average list price in our area of $404,714, which was up 17%. But that average sales price is $318,000, $318,476, which was up 4.3% over 2022.
Still really good.
So still really good. But the story there is people were pricing their houses about 13% higher
mm-hmm.
than what they were actually coming back down and selling for.
Right.
So what happened and what that led to was homes staying on the market a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Not as long as what you would think they would have stayed, but they stayed there a little bit longer than what your typical time in 2021 and 2022. You had them selling in 22 minutes.
Right.
And 2023, that didn't happen.
Yeah, and I think a key point here, though, to be made is because I don't want people to get this confused and think that people was listing their houses for $404 and they was accepting an offer of $318.
Oh, no. No.
Okay, I just want to.
That's not what happens.
That's not what happens.
No, and we can get that. I can pull that stat up here just in a minute and tell you. Actually, I can tell you right now the list to sales price. Okay, when you look at what happened. Okay, what happened as far as the list to sales price? Those listings were literally selling for about 96% of what they were listed for.
There you go.
So it wasn't that people were, like you said, was dropping that far, but people were pricing their homes higher than what that they really should be priced them at.
Yeah, absolutely.
That created a little bit of slow.
It did. It did because the market wasn't moving as fast.
Why do you think the market wasn't moving as fast? Well, I think that's a part of it.
Yeah.
But I think there's another part. I think interest rates played a role.
Well, I mean, obviously a major role.
They played a role in that. Yeah. So between people maybe trying to still say, hey, I'm going to get multiple offers in 22 minutes and, I'm going to sell for $40,000 over asking price. Mm-hmm. That changed just in itself.
Right.
Just going back to a little bit of sense of normalcy.
Right.
Made people feel like, oh, Lord, something bad's happening.
Yeah, and again, I was going to say that about you was talking about that's up 4.32%. That's when you look historically, that's falling right in line with what normal.
That's where we're at.
In a normal real estate market, that's
the growth.
The growth of what you typically
see
right there. Yeah.
When you go back again to 21 and 22, we were seeing 30 and 40 and 50%.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't sustain that.
No,
it's not good. We just had this conversation with our agents. That's not good. That's not healthy for nobody involved. And you say, well, you're a real estate agent. Don't you want to sell for as much as you can? Absolutely. But at the same point in time, I want to be here selling them to you next year.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to look at this as a short-term growth that, hey, I'm just going to get what I can get and everybody just going to fend for themselves when this thing settles in.
Right.
I don't think that's the right approach.
No.
That's the right approach to look at it.
No.
So you again see those changes. People were listing for a lot higher than they were in 22. Mm-hmm. But when you come back down to reality, we were right there in the normalcy of the growth of the 4.3% that we want to see.
Right.
That's what you want to see.
Right.
Now, when you talk about the whole entire market, let's look at some sold statistics. So we're going to look at those sold listings.
Well, let's talk about this right here before we go. So we did talk about those houses sit on the market maybe a little bit longer. They sit on the house or on the market a little bit longer. But okay, 2022 average days on the market 55 days.
Right.
2023 average days on the market 61 days.
5 more days.
It's not.
I don't smell crash there.
I don't either. That's what I was saying.
I don't see it.
I don't feel like that's a crash.
No, there's no doubt about it. And we've been saying this for a while. We're moving to normal.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. Yeah. We're coming from way over crazy market. People just going nuts. Multiple offers, buying them without even looking at them.
Yeah.
So we're coming back to normal. And like you said, the 4.3% is normal.
Yeah.
That definitely is normal.
Yeah.
So as far as the total sales in our marketplace, actually listings that sold, so sold listings, talk to us a little bit about what happened in the sold listings in the Morristown, Tennessee market in 2023.
Okay, we're talking about sold listings. Yep. So like you're talking about like values.
Look all the way down at the totals. Go all the way down at the totals.
Oh, totals. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So 2022, we had 154 total.
Now that's the month. Go to the year to date.
My bad. Okay. Total 2022, 2,257.
Now this is residential.
This is residential.
Residential.
This is not land.
Gotcha. No.
Okay. It's not commercial.
Residential.
It's residential. So 2022, we had 2,257 versus 2023, we had 1,900 even.
I got you.
1,900 even.
Which is down.
Down 15, almost 16%, 15.8%.
From 2022.
Yeah.
We can't stress enough here. 21 and 22 were not normal.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So when you look at it and say, oh, Lord, nobody's selling houses anymore. Nobody's moving anymore. Yeah, we were down 15% on solds, but we're down from 22, which wasn't a real year.
Right.
Like, that's not even real.
Right.
So when you come back to it, you're starting to see a picture that, as a matter of fact, if we showed a picture, okay, of before the bad word, the China virus, COVID,
Right.
okay, this would fall right in line with a normal real estate market. What happened in 2023?
Yeah.
21 and 22 are outliers.
Right.
They're on an island by themselves.
Yeah.
So you can't count those.
No,
not in comparing statistical stuff.
In a sense, they got to be dismissed. You know,
I
what I mean?
agree.
That's just not real.
Now there will be people who will disagree with us about that.
Oh yeah,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
because they said they happened.
Right.
They happened, but statistically, when you're looking at, again, trying to say what's really going on and bring that down to where the average person can look at it, they're outliers.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
They were outlier years in any market in the United States of America, which is the same for Morristown, Tennessee.
Right.
So they're outliers. So you look at that, but again, so the solds were down 15.8%. The next thing I want to point out, which I think tells the whole entire story, is why the solds were down, is you've heard us talk about a little bit now, this thing called we need some inventory. Like, we need houses to sell.
Which I think if you get down to the root of everything, this is big. Like, inventory is what's caused a lot of this.
Well, and I think in saying that, here comes the story.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2022, in the Morristown, Tennessee real estate market, again, this is residential homes only, there were 2,908 new listings that hit the market. Okay. Yeah. In 2023, there were 2,399. So 2,400 versus 2,900.
Yeah.
500 extra less listings, which was 17.5% less than what came on the market in 2022. Now let's look at this story. The market solds was down 15.8%.
Right.
The new listings were down 17.5%. Well, that's why, y'all, 17.5% less homes listed in 23 versus 22. That's why we sold 15.8% less.
Right. They're not there.
There's a story here, though.
Yeah.
That's even with interest rates
right
in 8%.
8% interest rates, yeah.
So we were down 17.5% new listings, 15.8% sales. The major reason why the home market in Morristown, Tennessee was down in 2023 was because of listings, not the interest rates.
Right.
Now, I think that played a role on it.
Yeah. I mean, again, what if interest rates was 2.5? What happens?
We wouldn't have been down. We wouldn't have been down 15.8%.
Right.
Even though we were off 17% in listings.
Right.
So again, I think all of that together tells a story. And you look at that stuff we look at to kind of keep ourselves grounded.
Right.
Because to be quite honest with you, we feel a 15% slowdown. Of course we do. We feel that, when we know, hey, all these people ain't calling us and buying them now online and they didn't come look, we feel that too. So we look at this stuff to keep ourselves grounded, but also to pass along to the potential client.
I'm going to say to sellers, like, this is really important stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to hear. It's good to hear that and see that value, the list price was up.
Yes.
The sold price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was only there. And you look at it from a buyer's point of view, and people need to know now as buyers, we tell people this. Like, Morristown, Tennessee, man, it's still a competitive real estate market.
It's still growing.
It's still growing.
And you know what? We're at the beginning. This is January the 10th.
Right.
2024.
Right.
Okay. Rates are dropping.
Oh yeah.
Rates are dropping.
It's going to change a lot of things.
I've got my predictions on what's going to happen.
We're getting ready to throw them out. We're going to throw them out. We're putting on the spot.
Okay.
But I think that's a perfect segue, though, into 2024.
Yeah.
Let me back up just for a minute, though, because I think there's something to be said here. It's a point that we try to make all the time. Like you said, that's a lot of good data for sellers, especially how to price your house, what's happening. But there's buyer data right there, too, that people really need to pay attention to. And this is what we're telling our agents. Hey, you need to be telling people this because people feel and see the slowdown, which, again, was 5 less days. That's the slowdown in Morristown, okay?
Yeah.
They're on the market 5 more days.
Mhm.
That ain't a slowdown, but
Right.
that's another story. But so we got people right now that's buying. They're wanting to come in. Okay, I've got a $300,000 listing. They're wanting it for $200,000.
Yeah.
Because houses ain't selling.
Right. Sitting on the market a long time.
We just told you home prices, man, are 96% of what they're listed for is what they're selling for.
Yeah.
Those 2010 deals don't exist.
They're not
okay?
there. They're not there.
Different market, different time, different place. That's where working with a good real estate company like Elite Realty Group, you're going to have this info.
Yeah.
We're going to give you this because what we've seen happen a lot, despite the 7 and 8% interest rates, we saw people who were ready, willing, and able to buy, pre-approved, ready to roll.
Right.
We go out and see the houses. They're looking at them. Hey, this is it. This is the one. And it really was like that. That's it. That's what you want. That's where it is. It's the right location. Let's make an offer. What do you want to make? I want to give $200,000 for a $300,000 house.
Yeah.
And we're like, that probably ain't going to fly. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you
before
we do this, that's probably not going to fly.
Right.
And we saw a lot of people who would have been able to buy a house that didn't buy a house because they were making it harder on themselves.
Right.
They were making it harder on themselves. So there's data there for both buyers and sellers you get. So let's move to 2024. You just led into it. 2024, we're already seeing rates are ticking back.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming back.
Right.
What do you think when you say, here's what home prices have done, here's what we think they're going to continue to do? What do you think that does with rates ticking back down? What does that do to the 2024 market?
I think this is me. I think we're going to see a real surge because those rates are coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And from lenders that we talk to, from things that you can read, I think that they're going to see it. I'm not saying that it's going to drop to 2% tomorrow. I'm not saying rates are going to drop.
I'm with you.
Back down to where they was at, but I'm saying rates will continue to drop.
Sure.
I think that we're going to see that drop till probably, I'm saying I think the market is going to have a little boom.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not going to be crazy. We're not going to go back 2021, 2022. We're not going that crazy, but I think that we're going to see, it's an election year.
No doubt.
Always plays into the market.
Always
plays into the market. So I think we're going to see a lot of, again, some sort of boom until maybe August. And then I think that there's going to be a lot of people kind of focused in on this election. And so you might see a little bit of a slowdown, so to say.
At around that time.
Around August. But I think that rates are going to continue to drop, which is going to force, again, that's going to not force, but it's going to allow more buyers to kind of come back in the market because, again, like we said earlier, there's people sitting there waiting on this crash.
Mm-hmm.
They've been waiting since 2018 or 19.
Right.
Okay, they've been waiting a long time.
They thought it was going to happen in 18, and they thought COVID was going to have it. Then they thought it just happened.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No.
And
I don't see that, but I do know. What I do know is that there's a lot of buyers sitting there right now waiting for a 0.5% drop.
You've heard the term, there's pent up demand, and it's there.
Yeah.
And it was because of those 8% interest rates. So I think what you're going to see in 2024 is my projection. I think you're going to see interest rates come down. Mm-hmm. Now, when I say that, I think at the same time, I don't think that rates are going to come down to 3%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't either.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that causes craziness if that happens.
Well, there's no doubt.
It'd be chaos.
It would be utter chaos if that happened. But I don't think that's going to be what it is.
No.
I think rates are going to come down high 5s somewhere in the year, mid 6s.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my projection.
Yeah.
It's only mine. Don't hold me to that. Not a financial advisor. I don't have a crystal ball. But that's really what I think. Now, I think what that's going to do is do what you just said. It's going to bring those people who are sitting on the sidelines back into the market.
Yeah.
We already saw in our marketplace $200,000 to $300,000, which is the average home in our area, price them right, market them right. In 2023, we saw those homes multiple offers multiple times.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I think that is going to continue to be the story.
Mm-hmm.
Is those people that are trying to sell their house, wanting to sell their house in the 2024 real estate market, if they price them right and market them right, there's going to be demand.
Right.
Because the one thing that has not settled for us yet is inventory.
Right.
And even though with a lot of building going on in the Lakeway area, we don't have enough.
No.
And I go back to say, if we had enough in 2023, I think instead of being 15% down, we would have maybe been 5% down.
Right.
We just didn't have the inventory. We have this conversation every day of our lives with our agents. We have a morning meeting every day, and we talk about needing homes for sale every day.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can price them to the moon and people's going to buy them.
Stats show you can't.
You can't do that, but it does show you there's people sitting on the sidelines that these rates coming down are going to get them off the sidelines.
Yeah.
So last little piece of advice I have as far
Well, here's
as
what I'm going to say. So, I mean, and you've heard this, okay? If you paying attention to real estate at all, okay, you've heard this. Who knows when it's going to be, but rates are going to come down.
Oh, yeah.
So home values are going to continue to go up.
Sure.
So, I mean, the people that I'm helping right now buy houses, those people, they've all got the same philosophy in their mind. They realize that, yes, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and pay this interest rate if I want a house. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I can refinance later.
Sure. I think that's what I was getting ready to lead
And
into.
there's a really good chance that I can't afford this house later because those values are going to keep going up. But here's what else, Mike. Do you know what else is going up other than home prices?
Talk to me.
Rent.
Yeah, no doubt.
You want to go pay $3,500 to rent a house?
Not personally, I don't. No.
I don't either. You know what I'm saying? So it make, and we've said this. We've done talk shows for years now.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense to buy? Everybody's different. Everybody's different. So you can't throw this all in a box.
No.
If it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you.
Sure.
But can you still buy a house right now?
Sure.
Maybe you can. Is it smart? I think it is. I think if you can afford to pay the house payment, I think it's still a very smart time for you to buy a house.
Well, and here's why I say that. That was, you were leading into exactly what I was about to say. That the last little thing I wanted to say about the 2024 real estate market. Let's use the conservative but normal number of appreciation in home values in 2023 was right at 5%.
Yeah.
I think we said 4 point something.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's use that number. Let's go to the average sales price in our area was $318,000. So let's use 300 for easy math. Okay. In the next year, if we keep that number, the 5%, that $300,000 house is going to increase in value by $15,000 in the next year.
Yeah.
You will make over $1,000 a month by living in your own house.
Yeah.
You gotta factor that.
You got to think of it. Yeah.
Okay, that's what you got to look at.
Yeah.
So my payment's $2,000, but you're getting paid $1,000 to live there.
Yeah.
Because your home value is going up.
Right.
That's building your net worth. Now,
Yes.
I ain't moving in the next year. I ain't worried about that. Okay, so it's 3 years from now. In 3 years from now, you're going to have a different circumstance and need to move. Okay, let's keep that 5%.
Right.
15,000 times 3 is 45,000.
Mm-hmm.
So in 3 years, your $300,000 house is going to be worth $345,000 using simple math. It's really more than that.
Right.
But using simple math, 5% of $45,000.
Yeah.
That's why what you're saying, every single person, family, it's an individual decision.
Right.
Does it make sense for you to do it? Does it make sense not? That's up to you.
Yeah.
But to be paid 45 or to gain for your net worth to increase $45,000 over the next 3 years for you to simply buy and live in a house, that's the magic question you have to answer. But you got to go deeper. And I'm going to just put this out because you need to talk to a lender to do this math. But so interest rates, man, that's what everybody says. I'm going to wait till they come on down. So what I think is going to happen in 2024 to end the whole thing here, if rates come down, that 5% is going to go up. That they're appreciating. Majorly, I think. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're going to wait for them to come from 7 to 5.5. And I'm just using numbers here for a minute, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for them to come from 7 to 5.5. Well, I don't know what the difference in that payment is, but that's where you need to sit down with the lender and figure that out.
Right.
Because there's a really good chance that if home prices would bump up to in 2024, they raise 10%. Mm-hmm. That $30,000 in interest that you're going to make by living in that house for the year is not going to be that 1.5% difference you paid in the interest rate.
No.
So by waiting to come down, that $300,000 house you can buy right now at 7% interest is going to be $330,000 when you got to buy it at 5% interest, which is still at the end of the day going to be more money. You're going to be paying more money.
Right.
You got to sit down with somebody financially, a lender specifically, and do that math out.
That's what I'm saying, that there's so many people that are just listening to rate and bad information from your cousin Tommy who knows about this and he's heard all this. Everybody has their own specific thing. And so, I heard a person the other day and people saying, why would I sell my house right now? I've got a 3.5% interest rate and go get a 6.5% interest rate. But you know what? That person that I'm talking of, they had all this credit card debt.
Right.
They had car loans.
Right.
All this other stuff that they was able to take the money from the sale of their house, pay those other things off.
At 20%.
At those 24% credit card interest rates.
True story.
I'm saying everybody's different.
Yes.
Everybody's different. But I'm saying don't focus on the rate.
No.
There's a whole other world of real estate going on other than the rate.
Yeah. So you look at that and you're sitting there and you're saying, I don't know who to talk to. You're all right, guys, but I don't know who to talk to. We got tons of people who will meet you right here in our office. They'll come to you.
Call you on the
phone.
You
can go to them, call you on the phone. You can have these conversations with people who can do this math and work it out for you, and you can see for yourself, this works for me or it don't. Right. There's no cost to you to have that conversation.
Right.
It's just literally a conversation. So don't think or be afraid to have those conversations. Right. All right. So my projection for the 2024 real estate market is you're going to see home prices go up between 5 and 10%, because we was at 5 this year. We're going to go up between 5 and 10%, but you're also going to see interest rates drop.
Yes.
That is where it's going to be very important for you as an individual to sit down and look at this and say, I need to look at these numbers.
Yeah.
And if these numbers make sense for me, I do it or I don't do it because of what the numbers say. What say you on the way out the door?
I agree. I think when is the right time to buy? Again, that's specific to the person. But, if you can suck it up right now, buy, refinance later.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be a good plan.
I agree. So again, that does it for us today. We appreciate you guys watching, listening to the podcast, whatever platform that you are watching and listening on. Make sure you like and subscribe, share it out, get us some more viewers.
Yeah.
We're going to bring you the information. So again, from me and Dave here at Elite Realty Group and all of us, you looking to buy, sell, or invest, or just want to come by and talk, you can come by and see us at Elite Realty Group, 415 North Fairmont Avenue here in Morristown, Tennessee, or visit us online at eliterealtygrouptn.com. Until next time, you guys be safe, be blessed. We will see you on the next episode.